Good afternoon. Today we are going to see the roof trusses, and in this we are going to cover graphical method for dead and wind load. Now, before this, we have two videos, and in these two videos, we have separately solved the problems and calculated the panel point loads. Now today we are going to be in one video, and that both panel point loads we are going to calculate. Now the major difference between the two, in that video we have considered a total area, that is area inclined area, that is total. So you can see this. In that we have considered this total, we have 8 meter, and then we have this as 8.51 meters, and then we have spacing of truss, that is 4 meter, and then we have considered this area total inclined. We have calculated one side and then multiplied by 2 to consider both. And in case of plan area, we have considered this total, that is 8, and then we have made it double, that will be 16. Now in this we are going to consider panel area. What is panel area? So you can see we have panel points. So we have, this will be full panel point, and same we have likewise, and we have purlin on this. Now load on this panel point is responsible for this area. So this is my spacing of purlin. So this is spacing of purlins. Spacing of purlins, and our area on this purlin is half on this side and half on this side, that is, so if we will see, so again we are going to get it total, that is the spacing of purlin. So on this, whatever load will be there, that load will be spacing of purlin and to spacing of truss. That area we have to consider where we are going to calculate this length. Now, how we are going to decide actually this spacing of purlins? So, as we know the length of sheet, and that will decide your spacing of purlins, because if I have this length of sheet, this is suppose 2.9 meter, then 100 meter is considered for overlap. So 2.9 minus zero point 0.1, which will be 2.8, and spacing of purlins equal to 2.8 divided by 2, because on 3 purlins we have that sheet, means we are going to get this 1 and 2 spacing of purlins, and then we will get it as 1.4 meter. So likewise, you can decide your spacing of purlins, and then you can decide all these things. So once we know this spacing of purlins, then we can have total panel points, and accordingly you will get inclined distance. Then as you know height, how much you have to decide, or you know theta, from this you can find this plan length also. Or if plan length is given, then you are going to decide, that is panel points, how much panel points you have to go for. So how many panel points you can have? So we have one sheet on this and another sheet on this, so that we have to keep in mind. Sorry, so we have likewise, so on this we have one sheet, and on this we have another sheet. So your panel point should be in the multiple of, sorry, so we have this will be on these three, then we have this on next three, so two. So likewise actually you have to consider, so how many we have to go for, 3 plus 2, then you have plus 2. Likewise we can go for the panel points, then only it will be. Now here we have to provide that is half sheet, and so instead of that, it is preferable to consider first three and then add two after each. So 3 plus 2 plus 2, or we can go plus 2, and then accordingly we have to decide it. So it is not 3 into, because if you will put down first 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you will say next 3, then this portion will remain as it is. So okay, so now we have area which is responsible for this panel point is spacing of purlin into spacing of truss, and then we have to multiply only that distance. This already we have calculated, spacing of purlin we have 1.702 meter, because we have total this distance 8.51 meters, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spacing of purlins. So divide by 5, so I will get it as 1.702 meters, and then if I will multiply it by 4, then I will get inclined area. So you can see now hypotenuse we have calculated area for panel point. Inclined area, center to center distance between purlins into spacing of truss, and then it comes 6.808. So I will not go in detail, where we have changes, that only we will see in this video. Then we have plan area, plan distance between purlins into spacing of truss. So this comes 1.6. So this distance, so this distance, this is 1.6 meters into 4, 6.4. So now you can see this. So I will just show you where we have make corrections, or we can have another method. So we have here 68.080. Then we have dead load of purlins. Here we have considered only one purlin, and then we have that is 400 newton. So 100 into 4. Then spacing of truss, here we have considered plan area, instead of 64 we have considered 6.4. So now the main change you have to keep in mind to get the correct answer. So we have considered here 80. Now why 80 we have considered in this? Now you have to keep in mind we have total panel points, total points I can say instead of panel points. So we have total points 12, and panel points load when we will calculate, we are going to consider 10 equal to 10, because why we are going to consider it as 10, so that already we have seen over there. So I can go now again, and I will explain it. So we can have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then we have 9, and then half on this we have 10. But how many purlins we have? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 purlins are there, but we have panel points only 10. So we have to consider this a load of 2 purlins, that is divided on 10 panel points. So we have purlin load 400. So for 2, we have 2 into 400, that comes 800. And we have to divide it on 10. So divide it by 10, then you will get 80. So on each purlin, we have each dead load, panel point load, we have to consider load due to purlin 80 plus 400, and that comes 480. And that 80 we have considered over here. Otherwise, that 2 extra purlin load will not be considered. So that only change you have to keep in mind while calculating by plan area. And then we have dead load on each panel point 2.02 kilonewton, same as we have seen over there. Then live load, we do not have much change. Only change you have that there we have considered this area as 6.64. Here we have considered 64. So we can have two-third of this, and then this value again come 2.35 kilonewton. Now in these panel point loads, we have same as we have in mm, whole area, and then we have actually for wind load. So wind load again we have said we have calculated VB, then K1, K2, K3, K4, then VZ. After VZ we have PZ. After PZ we have KD, KA, KC, PD we will get. Then we have total wind load. So here we have that is important. CP minus CPI A into PD. And now we have external pressure coefficient same H by W we have considered. Then we have calculated alpha we know, CPE, CPI, then normal wind pressure we have plus minus zero point 0.5, that also we have considered, and from this we got these four combinations, and in this we have considered first combination which is minus 1.3, and then by this we have calculated this value. So this will be now a, here again we have to consider inclined area 6.808, and value if you will see, you will get same value minus 8.6 kilonewton. So that change you have to keep in mind, and then you have to calculate the values. You can go by any one way and calculate the panel points load. No change, only we have to understand if we will go by panel area, then that purlin loads we have to divide that two purlins loads on all panel points. That's all. So thank you. We will stop here only.